Ron Vaccaro here at the Yale Football Association Golf Outing, joined by Jack Perkowski, class of 1970, and among many distinctions, one of the only groups never to lose to Harvard or Princeton.
I'm told that we're the only team that never lost to Harvard and Princeton. Of course, we had a tie in there, but we're the only team never to lose.
And only up in Harvard would they think that tie was anything but that. So.
That's right. They think it was a win.
Talk about your Yale football playing experience and, what that meant to you.
Well, it was very memorable career. In fact, it was kind of one of the main reasons I came to Yale, because of the dedication of the coaches and the alumni. And I had the great fortune of playing under Carm Koza. It was his second year, I think, when I came in as a freshman. It was really a fantastic experience. And Carm, he's from Ohio, and I'm from Western Pennsylvania. And I'll never forget the day when I was graduating after playing for Carm for all these years. And I was in the Yale Co-op buying a nice tie because I was going to go to New York and interview with J.P. Morgan and everything. And from across the room, Carm saw me there. And he looked at me and he yelled across the room, he said, "Perkowski, what are you doing buying that nice tie?" He said, "You're still shaking off the coal dust from Pittsburgh." And so I very sheepishly put the tie back on the counter and walked out.
Now, they say you can take a boy out of Western Pennsylvania, but you can't take the Western Pennsylvania out of the boy.
That's right.
You've tested that.
That's right. After 4 years at Yale, Carm thought I was still shaking off the coal dust.
Now, after Yale, you went on to a very successful business career, which you're still certainly active in, and we're really one of the real first American success stories in China.
Yeah, basically, after Yale, I lost a little religion and went to Harvard Business School for 2 years. And then after that, worked for about 20 years at Payne Weber and ran the investment banking business. Then in 1990, decided that Asia and China were the future of the 21st century. So I ended up moving to Hong Kong at the end of 91, making my first trip to China in 92. And I really haven't left there. So I still live in Beijing. We have a farm about 15 minutes from Princeton. But we spend most of our time in Beijing.
And now your automotive industry, which was somewhat of a leap of faith for you when it happened, because China was still very not much a car country.
Right. When I first went to China, China was making about 500,000 to 1 million vehicles a year, which was kind of interesting. But at that point, the U.S. was making about 17 million. So it didn't really register on the global scale. So I thought that China had a great future in the auto industry and decided to create a leading components company. And that's what I did for 15 years. I built and ran a company called Asimco, which now is about $500 million in sales, 12,000 employees. In the meantime, China's auto industry is now the largest in the world. Last year, China made 18 million vehicles, and it's by far the biggest market.
And I'll plug your book, because I read it. You were nice enough to give me a copy. Managing the Dragon is an excellent read for anyone who wants to visit China to do business or not. It's a very enjoyable read. And I do want to ask you, when you come back here to a Yale football golf outing and see old classmates and friends, what are some of the thoughts that come to your mind or memories that you think of that stand out?
Well, I've always thought that the 4 years I spent at Yale were probably a real pivotal point in my background. I came from a working class background in Pittsburgh, and the thought of going to a place like Yale was something that never entered my imagination until the alumni called. And so the 4 years I spent here really opened up my eyes to everything. And so seeing everybody, Carm, Seb Laspina, Richie Pont, my old class, my teammates, Brian Dowling, Bill Primps. It's really nice to see them, and it seems like nothing's changed in the last 40 years, which is nice.
All right, well, they certainly do keep the tradition going. And, Jack, thank you so much for taking some time here and talking to us.
For interviewing me, and good to see you again, Ron.
All right, same here. That's Jack Perkowski, Ivy League champion, class of 1970.